I was thinking about doing this, but then I thought, well, maybe I should do that. But then I thought, I'm not sure if I do that, that's actually the right thing. So then I thought, well, maybe, what about this? And I talked to this devotee, and he said, well, I think you should do that. And then I thought, okay, I'll do that. But then I started to do that, and I thought, maybe that's not the best thing. So then I thought, well, I'll do this. Not good. Not good. There was a devotee who was like that, and he wrote a letter to Prabhupada. I think I'll go here, and I could do this. And Prabhupada did not like it. He said, a devotee is simple. A little service, little prasadam, place to sleep, he's satisfied. Indecision is very unhealthy because it's energy which gets splayed out, and then you can't focus on what you need to do. Part of indecision could be, well, if I do this, I'll be happier than if I do that. Or if I do that, that would be more pleasing to my guru than if I do this. And a lot of times, Prabhupada would just say, do something. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. And there's a letter, and Prabhupada said, the point is to be engaged in service 24 hours. Sometimes he would say 24 hours. So that means your sleeping is also part of your service. Just always have service, and your sadhana is also considered your service. So we should be so engaged. And then he said, never mind what it is, which is interesting. Because what was his point? His point was, the point of service is to be engaged. But if we get too mental, then we can't give ourselves to the service because we think, well, maybe this is not the best thing. Now, obviously, in some cases, it may not be the best thing, and that thinking is valid. But when it's constantly going back and forth, it's dangerous because we need balance. And so there's a beautiful story. This was a story about the military, and there was a decision that had to be made, and for 14 years they couldn't make this decision. And so there was a new general. He was given the report, like a 180-page report. He read about 40 pages, and he made the decision. And they said, how could you make this decision that we haven't made for 17 years, and you only read 40 pages? He said, because none of you have made the decision, and the only way to know whether my decision is right or wrong is to make it. And if it's the wrong decision, we'll find out. But by not making the decision, we'll never know. And you haven't made the decision, so how do we know? So sometimes when you can't decide, the best decision is to make some decision. Of course, not when you're getting married. That's different. But, you can choose a man, but don't marry him. But sometimes you need to make decisions just to get you off the mental platform. And I've seen many devotees, they have this problem because they always think, well, I made this decision, but that decision could be better. There's no grounding. There's always this, that could be better, or that could be better. It's very unhealthy. And so sometimes we just need to make a decision, because when we make that decision, what happens? Then we come down and we're grounded. Okay, now I've made it. Isn't it? There is a story. Some of you may have heard this story. I was asked to be temple president, and a very young devotee. It was in Canada, and it was very difficult for me. And I didn't really want to do it, but I didn't want to give up the service because I thought that was improper. It was given to me by Krishna. But it came to the point where I had overstayed my stay as a tourist, and I had to get a green card. And the likelihood of getting a green card was very rare because it was during the Vietnam War, and so many Americans were going to Canada. And the lawyer said, you probably won't get it. And I was very happy that he said that because I didn't want to stay there. And so I went to apply for the green card thinking I wouldn't get it, and then I would call the authorities in America and say, I couldn't get the green card, we're going to have to send another devotee here. And then I could happily go home, and you could say it was an honorable discharge. I didn't leave my service, it was just I had to leave it because I couldn't stay in Canada. And guess what happened? I got the green card. Against all odds. And when that happened, I wasn't supposed to get it. And seriously, the whole procedure, I'm serious, took 4 minutes. It was crazy. I just drove through the border. 4 minutes later, they came out and said, here's your card. It was crazy. And so when it happened, then I understood, Krishna wants me here, obviously. And before that, it was so difficult to stay there. And then once I knew Krishna wanted me, I was completely stable. It was like totally pacified. So we need to get on that platform of making a decision and say, okay, this is what Krishna wants me to do, and I'm going to do it. And once that decision is made, don't be, but, maybe, could, was. Then we have this problem. This is like coming up a lot. Well, I was thinking about marrying her, but then I met this other one, and she's really nice, and now I'm confused. No. If you're thinking about marrying this one, don't look and talk to the other ones. That is death. Because you know why? There's always another one. And when you get married, guess what? There's always another one. And after you've been married for 25 years, there's a lot of other ones. So unless we learn this acceptance, okay, I've made this decision, I take it, I'm just going to live with it, I'm going to forget about it. It's a decision I made, that's it, it's over. This was Prabhupada's idea of Grihastha life. One time, a devotee was disturbed and he wanted to get married, and Prabhupada said, oh, just look out the window, there's so many women, just pick one. Now, what was Prabhupada's point? He said, the point is, have one, live peacefully as a grihastha. Don't get, is she the right one, the exact perfect one? What about that one? I chose this one, but she's from this country, and now I realize people from that country are better. You'll go on ad infinitum. That's the nature of the world. So devotees should be satisfied. So it's very dangerous to be indecisive because it uses up all your mental energy. And even in understanding philosophy, what about this, what about that? That's okay if within the context of philosophical discussions, we can philosophically speculate, and it could be this, Prabhupada said that, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said that, and we're trying to come to some conclusion, but that's the point. You want to come to a conclusion. When you don't come to a conclusion, it creates problems. So sometimes when you're going back and forth, you have to be like that military officer who says, I'm just going to decide. And this is often what I tell devotees when they say, I don't know about if I should do this and that. And I say, just decide, you'll know. If it's not a major decision that you can't get out of, like you're giving someone $100,000 for something, just do it and you'll know. If it's the wrong decision, you'll find out. Take it slow. And so, but once you make that decision, now you can be peaceful. All other options, okay, forget it. I've made the choice. Very, very important. Otherwise, I've seen with some devotees, ad infinitum, they'll go back and forth, and this energy is draining them. It's very unhealthy, and it's a sign of something internally that's not right inside. And we have to be very careful because it can go on endlessly, and no matter what choice you make, in the back of your mind you'll think, I could have made the other choice. And it's going to drive you crazy. Right? If you've been there, you probably already are crazy. So maybe this can help stop you from being crazy and help you get more focused and more peaceful and more grounded.